Since we already use a freeze deck and a hyper carry build for Neuvillette, this time we're using a bloom deck which uses Kirara and Nilou for bountiful cores. Our deck goals here is either make Kirara burst first or do skill followed by a Nilou to get bloom. Then lastly we will switch to Neuvillette so that if we trigger bloom, Neuvillette talent at the same time, Neuvillette will deal additional damage for 2 instances. Okay? So for round 1, I think we can stall on Kirara since opponent probably cannot use Jin's skill, cause if opponent switches us to Nilou, we will be able to do bloom much faster. And I think I will just ramp for the first round. Okay, for second round. Okay, so dice are good. I think we can continue on Kirara before switching to Nilou. So let's try use the box followed by Dunya and Zhang. So if we use Zhang, we will be able to discount the cost of our weapon. So by next round, we still have stock on Wagner to be used for the sapwood on either Nilou or Kirara. So I don't think opponent will still use Jin's skill because opponent doesn't allow us to bloom, and with that we will be able to use Kirara burst here. So I think we can now switch on Nilou and attempt for a bloom. So now switching to Nilou.
Anything I can help you with?
And I think I'm pretty sure opponent will switch again to Albedo. But let's see. Oh, see? And I think I will use this Dendro dice since I want to use the passive of Bountiful Core. So now either we switch on Neuvillette,
Thank you for
we
permitting.
can
No,
still ensure that we will be able to bloom either by switching on Kaya or Jin, or if opponent accidentally trigger Kirara burst. Okay, let's see. And we got Neuvillette talent. So in case we trigger a hydro related reaction, Neuvillette will gain additional 1 damage for the next 2 instances. So I think I will just use skill here first so that opponent will trigger bloom and we can switch back in case opponent uses Jin skill. But let's see.
bow your head.
Okay, so opponent will use skill now or burst.
Barbados.
So as you can see, opponent choose Jin burst to heal, and we can freely use Neuvillette talent. But I think opponent will use skill now since opponent doesn't want to trigger the so we got a secondary or the prep skill damage, and with that we can just probably tank the damage or heal. I think I will heal even though it's only plus 2 HP. So, and I don't think opponent can deal much damage since opponent uses Albedo, which is a summon and a burst, while Jin is limited. Oh, so we got double Dendro or double Bountiful Core now. But let's see next round. So next round we can, or this round we can do Neuvillette Burst, and we will gain 2 source water for a double normal attack. So here, so I'm gonna use Burst now.
The tides beckon.
With that, we will have 2 Bountiful Core, just in case we do end phase first. The first Bountiful Core will attack whichever the ending character of the opponent. Let's see. Okay, so opponent force switch us, and I think I will use the swords now. So doing a normal attack here to gain 2 Dendro dice. So opponent, I think I will switch on Nilou, because if we switch on
Coming.
Neuvillette, opponent can use skill to kill it for 4 damage. But since we use Nilou, okay. Since we use Nilou, I think I will kill Jin now. I was planning to ramp up first, but since opponent switched to Jin, we can now use the weapon, do a skill killing Jin. With that, I think it will be GG since the 2 Bountiful Core will attack Kaya. Oh, so opponent already see what will happen, and that's our first game for the week, gaining the lucky coins. And this time we're using still the Neuvillette Bloom, and we match up with a Althaitam Weekend deck. But let's see.
Thank you for choosing Commonia Express.
So same strategy, same goals. We will do a skill first on Kirara,
Our penance is due.
followed by Nilou, or if opponent will allow us, we can do burst first on Kirara. Also, opponent chooses MMR, which is Mintimate Roll. So I'm assuming opponent will not switch to maximize that MMR
Anything
or
I
the
can help you
Mintimate
with?
Roll. And we got Zhang. Okay, so the last 4 dice can be used for 1 skill of Nilou, dealing 4 damage, and the summon will deal 2 damage. And in case opponent didn't switch, we can kill it before Beidou Burst. But I assume opponent will switch on Alhatam now. But let's see. Oh, so opponent sacrifice Beidou. So with that, we can stop opponent quicken in the early game. Oh, so opponent quits, and that's the second game, and I don't know why opponent did that. Bye.